Dear Elon, so I woke up this morning thinking I was still employed by you, as I have been for the last 2.5 years at the Fremont factory. But to my surprise, I was laid off during an unexpected layoff that I found out was happening today. So, with that being said, you chose to let me go, and I think it's about time I say. Um, I've worked there for the past almost 2.5 years, almost 3 years, and in that time, I have seen supervisors doing drugs in the customers' cars while they're being repaired. I've seen supervisors having sexual intercourse with employees in the customer cars. I have seen the technicians also doing drugs in the customer cars as they're being repaired on. There's a whole bunch, but you want to get rid of someone that has been there for almost 3 years and who shows up every day and does their job and does the job of about 7 other employees. Okay. How about you go after the supervisors that employees in the customer cars, or the technicians that do drugs in the customers' cars, or how about you do something about all the supervisors that play favoritism and don't give people good opportunities because they don't like them, even though they are great workers. How about you go after the supervisors and the leads who get high and drunk at work and then pass out for hours on their shift in customers' cars? But no, Mr. Elon, you want to go after the people who show up every day, work your stupid 12-hour shifts, and live in a car because they can't afford anything else and because they're spending way too much time in factory. Suck my Elon.
I had my baby on November 1st. I went back to work for Tesla on December 28th. And mind you, I was dealing with like a toxic supervisor who was either not clear on HR policies or just didn't bother to want to follow them. And so I struggled with that a lot. I almost lost my job due to absences when I was genuinely sick and had like doctor's notes, but I was still getting attendance points. So there was that. I finally got switched to a new shift. I started being viewed with like more respect, and I felt more comfortable, and I just started to really thrive and grow. And the more one-on-ones I had with my supervisor, the more I told her like, hey, I would really like to learn like all the different lines in my department. I was like, I'd like to learn everything. I want to know. I want to be able to be relied on. I want to be somebody who can count on to know everything, to be training other people, to be there every day, to show up and be able to run the auto lines and all that other kind of stuff. And I can't talk too much because I signed an NDA and I don't want to get in any trouble because I don't need that. I already have enough issues, but...
Throw the arms in the air again. Watch your camera in the air.
Elon, fighting pose.
Elon, to your left.
To your left.
Elon, fighting pose.
Elon, lay your straight. Mr. Musk, on your left.
To your left.
Elon, straight ahead, Elon.
To your left. To your left. Elon, to your left.
Elon, can we get down here, please? Elon, straight ahead.
To your left.
Elon, it's me.
They were training me for a new spot in my department, just as of last night. I was doing something new, and I was doing really well at it, and everybody was really impressed with me, and I was getting praised. And then, just before lunch, which was midnight, my Microsoft Teams app stopped working, and I couldn't log into any of like the Tesla like apps or anything like that. And everybody was talking about this company-wide email that they had all gotten from, Elon or whoever. And it was an email saying that they were cutting 10% of the company's global workforce, which equates to about 14,000 workers worldwide. And so I told my lead, I was like, man, I hope I didn't get fired, and I just said it jokingly, like, I didn't really pay too much attention to it. And she told me, she's like, production associates are usually pretty safe. Don't really lose sleep over it. And then I got up today and I got ready for work, like nothing out of the ordinary. I went to go get on the shuttle bus and I tapped my badge. And instead of blinking green like it normally does and makes the normal little sound saying that I was good to get on the bus, it flashed red. And somebody behind me was like, "Oh my God, you got fired." And I was like, no. And I asked the driver, I was like, "Hey, can I still get on? Like, obviously there's an issue with badging, like something's going on." And so the bus driver did let me on, but I sat down and I looked in my personal email because I was freaking out at that point because I was like, "Oh my God, my Teams notifications are not working and now my badge is not working. Like, what is happening? Like, could I have gotten fired? Like, no way. Like, they couldn't have fired me. Like, I'm such a hard worker. Like, this, a million things are going through my mind." And then I opened the email. And I got laid off. And I couldn't tell you why. Because there are a lot of people that work at that job that literally just stand around. And they tell me all the time I'm just here for a paycheck. I told everybody I knew, all my friends and family, how good of a job Tesla was. I bragged so much about the company, like I loved being a part of it. I came to work every day with a smile on my face saying I love being a part of the team. I love making good parts. I got shout outs from my supervisor. The quality people knew me by name because they could trust that I wouldn't pass any defects along. And it just really hurts. I have 5 kids. There was no warning. There was no notice. I went to bed this morning after my night shift thinking that I would get up today and go to work at 6 p.m. like nothing was wrong. And I didn't realize what was happening until my badge wasn't working. And mind you, I'm not an underperforming employee. Let me read you some words personally from my supervisor. My husband is also employed at Tesla, so he was able to use his Teams app and try to get a hold of my supervisor to figure out what was going on. And he said, "Hey, apparently Carrie got fired. Do you know why?" She says, "Hey, unfortunately, I do not have any other information other than what was given in the email that she received in her personal email. I found out the same time she did, as I was CC'd on the email that she received. I understand this is a difficult time for your family, and I'm definitely sad to lose her, and I know the team will be sad as well. We lost a lot of good talent throughout the factory. Please let her know that I am grateful for her hard work and everything she accomplished, and she will be missed. So tell me this. If I was a bad employee, and I deserved to be laid off because I didn't try, or because I didn't care, then I would understand. But to lay somebody off because they're a high performer and you don't want to pay them the wages that you know that they deserve to be paid, then that is wrong. Then that is so wrong. And this is not fair. And everybody claims that this is how things work and this is how it goes, but no. You don't just draw names out of a hat and pick random people to lay off, especially your hardest workers. Like, this is not okay, and Tesla needs to be investigated about this massive layoff, because there was a backup at the security gate this morning. These people didn't even know they were getting fired, and they were trying to go to work like nothing was wrong, and then, like me, I feel like my entire life got derailed today, and I don't even know where to go because none of the other warehouse jobs in Reno are hiring. Amazon isn't hiring, Chewy isn't hiring, Walmart isn't hiring, Panasonic isn't hiring. So what are we supposed to do now, Tesla? What are we supposed to do now, Elon? What happened to our $5,000 in stock bonuses that we were supposed to get? What about all our shares that are supposed to vest still? What about all the faith that we had in you and your company? And believing that we could be a part of accelerating the world to transition to sustainable energy just to give our whole heart and soul to a company and be let go. When there are other people who deserved it way more than me. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
So if you've ever been mistreated at your work, you've had a bad boss, you've had a bad supervisor, or just the way management operates is all poor, you'll understand exactly what these people are saying. And unfortunately, I know these people are not alone. There's a lot of layoffs over at Tesla. We were just talking about that the last couple of days, and the way that it played out, according to these two people, and I think they're not alone, because she even says so when she arrived, her badge didn't work, and then they went to the kind of the gate entrance, and all these other people are feeling the same, like, what's going on? My badge not working, am I fired? And it just it would be really, really heartbreaking. Moreover, if you put your heart and soul into a job that you really like, right? And you're doing the right thing, you're improving your skills, and then you look around and you feel like your coworkers aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, or pulling their weight. It would be really, really frustrating. I've had this experience, and it's not about me. I'm saying I understand it. I completely understand this, and I'm sure if you're watching this, you've had that experience as well. It's where you feel like you're doing your fair share, you're maybe doing the work of more than other people, and yet they get rewarded and you don't. It's deeply frustrating. So I completely understand that. Unfortunately, at Tesla, there's been a lot of reports of this kind of stuff. We recently just had a lawsuit. It was settled by Tesla. It was a black worker accusing the Tesla in the workplace of being toxic and racist, and so Tesla actually settled. We had another settlement recently where the Apple engineer died testing FSD. And Tesla settled, and then there's other report just recently, I didn't mention it before, but just recently, where I guess Tesla was or not Tesla, but SpaceX, one of the Elon's companies, was making employees sign NDAs, so they can't talk about their work, and actually the one worker mentioned that as well, the woman did. It's just an unfortunate situation that's happening, and I just wanted to share this stuff with you, to always remember that there are real people when we talk about the news in any kind of situation, right? I just always emphasize that, and I know that you're a real person watching this video as well. So it's unfortunate, and also to just how can I say, as a way to kind of get through these kind of times, is do your best to, yes, work hard as you can, but always be prepared for this kind of stuff. So don't extend yourself too much, because this is just the reality, guys. Companies, they'll just drop you on just whenever they feel like it. It's an unfortunate truth of the world. And the best way to protect yourself is, take care of yourself, don't overextend yourself, and always have a network of people around you to, have somewhere to go if you can. I understand, and just sort of the environment that we're in, it depends, where you are. May not seem like there's opportunities. So the one woman, she's like, they're not hiring, and I understand that, and it's really tough. I guess my best advice in this situation is just don't give up. Keep trying, and know that yes, there's a lot of bad companies out there, there's a lot of bad management out there, that there is. But ultimately, you got to keep trying and find the place that's suitable for you, and find one that will appreciate your hard work. Because if you do a good job and you show up to work and do what you're supposed to be doing, be eager to learn these kind of things, is ultimately going to pay off for you in the end. I know in the short term, it doesn't feel like it's going to pay off for you, right? Because I really know. It feels like, God, I can't get ahead in this world, and how much harder can I work? What more can I do? But you got to keep trying, and you got to find the place that will appreciate you, and ultimately that'll be the place that you'll be happy and you'll belong. So anyway, just best wishes, and I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this stuff as well. And again, this is the stuff that's going over on at Tesla, and I'm sure the other channels will completely ignore this stuff, but I just want to tell you guys the truth on these things, and share with you as much as I possibly can. So I'll catch you next video.
The Cybertruck does not work anymore. I'm about 2.5 months in and 3,400 miles, and it's not working right now. Let me show you. So when I go in, open the door, you see one problem. The screen is not coming on. The manual recommends to reset the screen, you have to hold these two buttons in for 30 seconds and then the screen will reset and display a Tesla logo. But listen to the noise this thing makes when I hold on it. All right, I'll be quiet now. That was a weird popping sound. AC goes off. "20 seconds-ish. All right, you heard some noise up there. And we're supposed to do another 30 seconds before it displays the Tesla logo and resets. Anybody wondering? The back screen's on fine. So what did I do different? Today I went to the beach. I took the dogs. There'll be a video on that when I get to it. And went home. Took it through the car wash. Make sure all the sand's off. Vacuum the inside. But I noticed there was some sand in the truck bed. So I put the tonneau cover up and I just hosed off the sand in there. And there seemed to be little slots. That's the only thing I've done that's different. Then I pulled it in the garage and nothing. We are a couple minutes in. Should have had a little T up here by now and a new display. Nothing. The AC's running. Windshield wiper works. And if I press the brake, the lights come on. And it looks like I can drive it, but what good is driving it if you don't know your speed, your rear view mirror, any info? You're driving this thing blind. Maybe it'll dry out. I don't know, but right now I put a service ticket in and I'm not driving it without any info. It's unsafe. And I guess you guys heard of the other recall. The other problem another viewer had was this pedal cover came off and right underneath is a little slot at the bottom. So it was completely floored and jammed. But for an electric vehicle, you just press the brake and that will disable the pedals. But when he let go of the brake, it was floored again. So he had fun getting it to park. Forgot to mention the truck should be about 60% charged when I got back. So there's no reason the battery should be out. But I'll plug it in just in case.